damn good to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that logo! This week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Dudley, and I am the Comic Hero. It's Veterans Day, and on Veterans Day, we honor the men and women that have served in any of the 5 branches of the U.S. military who are still with us today. And I want to thank my 2 cousins, Lavert and Pat Washington from Midland, Louisiana, for their services. I want to thank one of the members of the Lane Chapel CME Church in Homer, Paul McGee Sr., for his services. And also, one of my friends that I was in band with at ULN, Daniel Hale, for his services, and also 2 friends that I was in high school with, Kennedy Burns Jr. and Carlos Willis, for their services. You know, if you happen to go up to if you happen to see someone, or you know someone that is a veteran that has served, thank them. Really, these folks need more than thanks. I mean, treat them out to dinner or a cup of coffee or anything like that, because these folks fought so that we may live in a country that has more freedoms than any other country in the world. Now, it may sound cliche to y'all, but it's really true. We do have the freedoms that most countries don't have. I mean, and sometimes, you know, we take those freedoms for granted. And instead we should cherish them. And I want to thank everyone who came out to Geeks Along the River this past weekend. Met some new people, caught up with some familiar faces. A very great day. And if you're one of the folks that just subscribed to my YouTube channel, welcome. I'll make you feel very welcome to watch this show, and not just this one, but not just this episode, but episodes to come. And if you're interested, you can go back and watch the episodes that I've done previously. But again, thank you so much for coming out to Geeks Along the River. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you for buying any merch if you did. And I'm just very thankful. Of course, this is Thanksgiving month, so not only do I have something to be thankful for, everyone has something to be thankful for. I don't care who you are. I don't care what walk of life you come from. I don't care about any of that. You have to be thankful for at least one thing. All right, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, on last week's episode, I asked true or false. The Incredible Hulk was inspired by a real woman who lifted a car to save her baby. Well, the correct answer is true. Incredible Hulk co-creator Jack Kirby stumbled upon this story, and his takeaway from it was that we all have inner strength. And so he brought the idea to Stan Lee, and he incorporated the Jekyll and Hyde Frankenstein complex, and that's how the Incredible Hulk was born. So the answer is true. 9 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names have been entered in the drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So, the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Brad Bertuzzi for Warren, Ohio. So, congratulations, Brad. You get yourself a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a Justice League question. Who is the Justice League's first major villain? Now here's a hint. This is in the comics. And they first fought this villain in The Brave and the Bold, number 28. Everyone who answers correctly been in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. Alright, now wow. The guy whose name I just drew is also the guy who requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight. And this one is a special Veterans Day Throwdown Showdown fight. And you'll see what I mean once you watch. Representing DC, we have the John Stewart Green Lantern. And representing Image Comics, we have Spawn. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's the John Stewart Green Lantern versus Spawn. John Stewart, like all Green Lanterns, possesses a power ring that grants uniform, flight, force field, space travel, generation of heart-like constructs, and real-life translation of all languages. Spawn possesses superhuman strength, speed, agility and endurance, immortality, healing factor, is a highly skilled tactician, martial artist, swordsman, marksman, athlete and acrobat, teleportation, shapeshifting, necroplasmic energy blast, resurrection, multiple demonic powers, energy manipulation, molecular manipulation, demonic cape with weapons, and chains. Who will win? Stewart tries to mount a sniper attack on Spawn by making heart-like constructs of an MK-40 and shooting at Spawn. He lands a direct hit, but Spawn is temporarily stunned. Spawn then teleports behind Stewart and delivers a cheap shot. He then removes Stewart's power ring, slings it away from Stewart, and starts beating him to a pulp. Just as he's about to deliver the final blow, Spawn notices the USMC tattoo on Stewart's left arm. Spawn asks Stewart what his rank is and when he began his services. Stewart answered, and Spawn mystically healed him of his injuries, gives him back his power ring, and treats him to a beer. You see, Spawn is also a Marine. He was also part of the USMC's force reconnaissance. America wins. And that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that fight. I'll have another fight next week, and thank you so much, Brad Bertuzzi. Now it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, there are three things we're going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and the first one is this. Actress Zazie Beetz has said that she's open to playing the role of Storm in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I honestly think that she'd be great at it. Of course, before she played Domino in Deadpool 2. Now you're probably wondering how can she play both characters? Simple. When Disney acquired 20th Century Fox, they did away with all the characters that were in there with the exception of Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. So that character is still around, but every other character, including Domino, are no more. And again, I think Zazie Beetz would kill it as Storm, and so Marvel, I think y'all should go ahead and cast her. She was amazing as Domino in Deadpool 2, and y'all cast her as Storm. I seriously believe that she's gonna do great with that role. All right, now the second thing is that Marvel plans to show everyone what happened to Cap in the other timeline. Now, keep in mind, at the end of Avengers Endgame, he kept from everyone that he really missed being back in the 1940s. So, right after he returned Mjolnir and all the other objects back to the rightful timelines, he goes back to the 1940s and is never hurt. Well, he was hurt from it. He ended up, on a park bench next to where they all were, and then that's when that's when he gave the Falcon his shield. But but during that time, that was 70 years, or a little more than 70 years, and I think we all deserve to know what Cap was up to in those 70 years. Of course, it's no secret that he married Peggy Carter, because that showed in Captain America: The First Avenger back in 2011 that he really, really loved that woman. And now, of course, in the comics, Rogers never did go back to the 1940s. He decided, this is, he's got a second chance of life, and he decided to be grateful to the folks that that brought him back. And so he stayed. Not so much in the cinematic universe, but I would love to see what Cap had been up to during that time. And Chris Evans has said that he's not against reprising his role as Cap. Now, does that mean there's going to be a live-action movie or a live-action series on Disney Plus or an anime series? Either way, I would watch. Oh, and speaking of Disney Plus, it's streaming online, and right now it's been open for a day, and the number one show on there is The Mandalorian, which is a Star Wars spinoff. And honestly, I kind of want to subscribe to that. But I honestly believe there needs to be a Captain America series that talks about what happened in those 70 years between the end of Captain America: The First Avenger and Avengers Endgame. All right, now the last thing, Brie Larson, who plays Captain Marvel, has signed a 7-movie deal with Marvel Studios, and this is huge. The movie deal was huge, and honestly, I'm very proud of this. Brie Larson, Larson under the in spite of all the criticism that she's gotten this year, Marvel believed in her, and she went on ahead and did it. And I just want to go ahead and say this. Here in America, we have opinions. And you know what? That's a good thing. That's a very blessed thing to have. Because now, granted, there's some folks that they have opinions, and they are better yet. Sometimes when folks hear certain opinions, they want to they want to condemn folks. But as wrong as that might be, that's still their God-given right. Because in this country, you can have an opinion about anything, and there's nothing wrong with that. There were some folks that even started a petition for Marvel to fire Brie Larson. You know what? That was their God-given right. But even though that was their God-given right, Marvel still had the last word. And their last word, Brie Larson stays on as Captain Marvel. It's going to be in 7 movies. But that's what this world is. That's what this world. This country is about, folks. It's about. That's one thing. The great thing about being in this country. There's nothing wrong with having opinions. Nothing. There's some folks that love Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. That's their opinion. There's some folks that do not like Brie Larson. That's their opinion. There are folks that wanted to start a that petition and get folks to sign. That's their opinion, and that's also their right. And yeah, that's it. But here's one thing that I want to see in future Captain Marvel films, or any films that Brie Larson plays Captain Marvel in. Make her similar to how she is in the comics. Funny, yet a badass. Kelly Thompson is doing such a great job writing the Captain Marvel the Captain Marvel comic series. And I think a lot more people need to start reading that. Really need to start from this mini-series that ushers in the current volume called The Life of Captain Marvel. It's a great read. Read all 5 issues, and there's something about Captain Marvel in it that even surprised me. So I think a lot of folks should go ahead and just start reading Captain Marvel more. And that is my opinion. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
All right, first up is The Amazing Spider-Man number 33. Aquaman Annual number 2. Batman number 82. Now I know it says City of Bane, but that's part of a holographic cover. Okay, let me show you. Pretty awesome, huh? All right, next up is Batman Annual number 4. Detective Comics number 1014. Fantastic Four number 16. The Immortal Hulk number 26. Justice League number 35. Now it says Legion of Doom number 35, but check this out. Justice League Dark number 16. Really excited about this book. Legion of Superheroes number 1. Miles Morales Spider-Man number 12. Now, Naomi season 1, but this collects Naomi numbers 1 through 6. So I'm counting this as numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's 5 issues. Superman Up in the Sky number 5. Wonder Twins number 9. And finally, Young Justice number 10. Alright, that's 19, which brings the total number of comics I bought since December of 1997 to 9,695. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. Who is the Justice League's first major villain? Everyone who answers correctly will be in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Brad Bertuzzi from Warren, Ohio, who won a free tee on this week's episode. Alright, if you're a U.S. veteran, if you served our country, even if you're on leave, even if you're currently serving our country, if you're a family member of those who have served and are no longer with us, I thank y'all. I mean, y'all, this country is the greatest, is still the greatest country in the world because of y'all. And this is something that's been on my mind for the past few days. I want to start this annual thing called the Random Act of Kindness. You know, this is the month of Thanksgiving, and next month is Christmas. I want to do something I just want to, put a smile on someone's face. And I'm giving y'all, the viewers, the opportunity of letting me know if there's someone y'all know that that deserves this a random act of kindness. Just let me know who. Just send me a personal message on any avenue of social media I'm on, which is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Tumblr. Or if you have my phone number, which I'm not going to give on the show, by the way, just text me and let me know. I mean, I'm going to pick some folks myself, but I would love to hear from y'all. I mean, just let me know who they are, where they're from, and what they mean to you. Because we all have to be here for each other. we all have to. I mean, there's nothing wrong with caring. There's nothing wrong with helping. As a matter of fact, why would anyone not want to? I mean, life is pretty boring to be self-preserving. I've always, I spent most of my life helping people, and that's something I want to continue to do for the rest of my life. All right, I'm Victor Nolly on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 285. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and thank you, vets.